Well, today I got cabin fever and decided today's the day. I've got this book here called Kamayakin Last Hero of the Yakimas, and about 2/3 of it is autobiography by the author, who was one of the first white men to move into this valley, and he was a hell of a man. He would drive cattle for other ranchers, and he would take them up to Vancouver, BC, even as far as Montana. So I recently made progress in discovering some of the points on his routes, and today I'm gonna go check out the eastward route, Montana route. So it goes out east of Yakima along Highway 24. I suspect Highway 24 was exactly where they'd drive the cattle. And then they'd get out to where the gate for the Hanford nuclear facility is, and go at an angle toward the Columbia River, where they have their common crossing. And that's where we're headed today. So before I get started, I'm going to take advantage of being in town and pick up some of the essentials. If you don't know about Mexican bread, you're missing out. Fresh baked. Beautiful. Yep, now I'm ready to hit the road. So what we're coming to is what used to be called the Moxie, the dividing line being the river. It's hard to know exactly where it was because the river is controlled by dikes now, and in the day the Moxie was on the east side of the river. But I don't know how many miles away, because the river would flood, and so they would stay out of the floodwaters. This is where the first pioneer in the Yakima Valley camped, homesteaded, and he was a cattle rancher, and that's who AJ Splawn, the author of my book, worked for primarily, especially at the beginning when he was only 17 years old. His brother, also a Splawn, married one of the Thorpe girls, and was one of the first settlers here too, along with Thorpe. And AJ Splawn was the younger brother and less domesticated at the beginning of his life. My suspicion is that this is near the first settlement. I suspect that they would have settled on the high ground, since the floodwaters, I believe, sometimes came out as far as 2 or 3 miles from the river. One of these days I'm going to go and search the records and really dig in and find out where he first was, because I know it's got to be recorded. So this is where I'm going to start my journey, and we're going to head out in that direction. You'll see more of it. So check this out. Somebody hit a buck. One of his antlers is way over here. Oh! Something lives down there underneath him. Poor guy. Hey guys. When I came out here on my motorcycle last summer, I kept asking myself, well, why not just steer them north instead of taking them so far east? Well, then I got on the roadway along the river, because the Columbia River is right over these hills, and I'll show you what I found. So through there and way over there is where we're headed. It's a place called Bluffs. the other side of those hills I was talking about. They look like tiny hills from the south side. Over here they're huge. And then right down there at the base of them is the Columbia. And the mighty Columbia. And we're going east. This is better than I imagined. There's an overlook here with descriptions and everything talking about it. So hopefully we'll get some more history here. And this is a high overlook. Way over there, I believe right there is where we came through the hills and down toward the Columbia. I think that he probably just brought the cows straight through what is the Hanford Gate. Probably brought them right around there and then up that way, as opposed to down that steep grade that we drive down and over here. So maybe someday I'll know the answer to that. I love looking at terrain. I love it out here. I think we're at the wrong place. Let's go read what the historical marker says. Well, it looks like my dog left his own natural monument. There's a big old deer up there looking right at me. 2 of them ran off already. Let's take a look at the sweeping landscape. And then what really makes me happy is this bunch grass. But the reason I just walked down this really steep hill that I'm gonna have to climb back up is to see what this is. This looks like an old structure of some sort. Well, I guess it's not a structure. Just windswept and left bare, apparently. Jay Lambo, Don, somebody, Leon. Well, I'm not the first one to think it was worth coming to see. I was hoping it was some ancient monument. So now I gotta climb that and my battery's dying. So this is it, folks. This is where it all ends. Meanwhile, that deer is still standing there watching us. Gosh, this is incredible. One of my dogs didn't come down though. There they go, bounding away. So one of the frustrations as a historian is always wishing that the guy writing the book would just give some detail, even just once, about everything he's wearing or everything that he's got on his horse. For instance, I'm trying to recreate AJ Splawn, the author, in my horse travels, and he only once mentions that he has a camp outfit because he leaves it with his friend when he takes the I think at that time he took a steamer and left his friend to take horses back home and left him with his camp outfit. I would love to know what's in that camp outfit, but we rarely get those kinds of details. So, along those lines, in the book he only mentions coming to White Bluffs as a crossing. But he never mentions that there's anything here. So, according to this plaque, White Bluffs was a crossing as early as 1858. The author of my book, I think his first trip was in 61, something like that. And according to this, there was a saloon and a trading post, etc. And this is super cool. They managed to preserve at least one of the buildings. I'd love to know what it was, and I'd love to build one like this someday. So anyway, I believe this is the crossing, because I think they know exactly where the ferry was when they put the ferry in. There's a road over there. Let's see if the zoom helps. There's a boat launch. Over there's the Bluffs. But just because it's called White Bluffs doesn't mean they had to cross right at the end of the bluffs. So this actually makes a lot of sense. Maybe you could access the higher ground right there. Oh, right there, maybe. But right here, there's a little bit of a pass for that. And it's where they've preserved the road from the ferry days. And it was a town as late as 1943, as I said earlier. So, it makes sense that the original road and the original route would be right here. So this is an exciting day for me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I lucked out that it happened to be 50 degrees and sunny. And the water's so crystal clear, it's calling me to jump in. I'm not great at dating concrete, but I know these pieces are significant. This one's got rebar in it, so it's not very old. And here's something coming out of concrete. But now the wood post might be from way back when. And then there's a corner up here. So I wonder if this is where they had the ferry cable attached. And going over there, perhaps. Pretty happy with the results today. That was a good trip. I plan to do another one on the northern route, where they went up through Ellensburg and over to a place called Moses Coulee. And I have a lot more points figured out on that route. So I'll probably do that later this year. Maybe I'll do it when I can take my motorcycle. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you like the history. Hope I can make these entertaining. And if you do want to support the channel, remember that if you have a Gmail account, you already have a YouTube account. So just go in there and subscribe and like the videos. Hit the reminder bell. Apparently that helps. Watch my videos all the way through. That really helps a lot. Watch another video at the end of this one if they're suggesting it. YouTube's been doing a pretty good job about suggesting some of my videos. It's been pretty cool. Getting quite a few views for having right now I think 210 or 220 subscribers, something like that. So I'm happy. I need to improve the quality of my videos though, so you'll enjoy them more and share them more. So that's on me. But I appreciate it. Everybody that watches and subscribes and comments, I really love it. The feedback